Students at Kalamazoo College pay approximately $58,000 a year to attend the institution. Between merit scholarships, external scholarships, and student loans, almost every student on campus has financial aid. In fact, 70% of students in the U.S. have student loans. 11 years ago, the Kalamazoo community sought to remedy this growing problem of student debt by creating the Kalamazoo Promise. We wanted to figure out more about the Promise and figure out what were the opportunity costs for the school and what were the opportunity costs for students accepting the Promise.
The Kalamazoo Promise is a scholarship awarded to graduates of Kalamazoo Public Schools. It's funded by anonymous donors, and it covers tuition at any public school in Michigan and a select few private schools.
The Promise agrees to pay for the highest in-state public school tuition minus room and board, which is currently U of M rounding at about $15,000 a year. 4 years ago, Kalamazoo College agreed to accept the Promise Scholarship and pay the difference between the Promise Scholarship and their private tuition so that Promise students could still go to school for free.
The Kalamazoo Promise pays Kalamazoo College what it pays University of Michigan. So University of Michigan is the largest tuition bill that they pay, the Kalamazoo Promise, which is typically about $15,000 to $16,000 per year. So that's what they give us. The college actually makes up the other 2/3 of it. So we actually only get from the Kalamazoo Promise 1/3 of the cost of tuition. It's an institutional agreement with the MCA and the Promise that we will supplement the other 2/3. So these students don't benefit us financially. I think a lot of people tend to think that they would benefit us financially, but that's not the case at all.
If the Kalamazoo Promise isn't financially beneficial to the college, why did they agree to accept Promise students? Suzanne Lepley, Director of Admissions at Kalamazoo College, explains how the Promise affects the number of applicants from KPS at Kalamazoo College.
In that interim, before the Promise, pre-Promise, everywhere, we had pretty much anywhere from 8 to 15 KPS students coming to us per year, and then the Promise happened. I'm sorry, before that we had about 25. The Promise happened, we would get anywhere from 4 to 8. Highest was 12 when we weren't included in the Promise, but the Promise was happening. And now that we are a part of the Promise, we're back to about 15 per year, 15 to 25.
Being in the state that offered the Promise, but not actually offering the Promise, actively decreased the amount of applicants Kalamazoo College was seeing from KPS. Why was it so important to keep the number of applicants high?
The diversity is strong out of that group because the diversity at Kalamazoo Public Schools is very rich. And certainly something that we value out of this program is that some of these students are bringing just incredible life stories with them. They're all amazing students. They're all 3.9 and higher GPA holders. We really get to pick the best of the best. We interview every single one of them. So selectivity out of KPS is higher than it is out of any other school district.
The Promise makes competition for Kalamazoo College much higher for KPS students. We sought out some recipients of the Promise to see what the benefits of attending Kalamazoo College were despite the intense competition.
And that was kind of the thing that I was weighing if you want to go to a school that is like elite and the high Forbes list or whatever. Is it going to be as much of a return on investment? Are you going to be able to make more money in your life than that would make it worth it to put yourself in that much debt? But I mean, that's, a hard thing to rely on when you can just go through school for free, basically.
I definitely would have been able to attend college, but I would have definitely had to take out loans, and I probably wouldn't be at K.
Having the Promise is like starting life completely in the green. Like, you don't have to start by paying off all your student loans. Like, everything you make from there is just building. And so for that, it's like a huge advantage compared to like everyone else now with the crazy, prices of college.
Both the institution of Kalamazoo College and KPS students had to consider the opportunity costs of the Promise. Kalamazoo decided that gaining top-notch students with diversity and scholar outweighs the money they lose, while students with the Promise attending Kalamazoo decided that entering life after college debt-free outweighed going to their top choice school.